right, so for dinner tonight, I have one of my favorite slow cooker meals when it's cold. It's called Ropa Vieja, which means old clothes. It's Cuban. I think I've heard it's also Spanish, but it is delicious. And the key thing in it is flank steak. And I'll show you how to sear that. But this has been plugged in and running all day. So let's take a look at the inside of this. Take a look in there. Okay, so we got the meat, and look at that. The meat is just falling apart. There's peppers, there's onions, there's an amazing sauce that it made there. This is absolutely delicious. It's spicy, but not incredibly spicy. Oh man, this is one of my favorite things. And it's really hot, so I'm gonna let it kind of cool and show you that the way I serve it is, I like to heat up some Uncle Ben's Ready rice in the microwave. So to put that on, put this over that, or you could have it with a tortilla, lots and lots of different ways. Okay, time for my my bite of this. Here we go. Oh, that is so good. It's so meaty and rich with a little kick there. And look how much it makes. It makes a whole lot. This is absolutely delicious. You want to make your family happy? Make this for them on a cold night. Make it the day before. Put it in the refrigerator, then bring it out of the refrigerator. Start it going in the morning. Let it go all night, all day, and you'll end up with something so delicious. I hope you'll give this a try. All right, so we're making the Ropa Vieja, a great meal made in the slow cooker. So here's what you're gonna need. First thing, you're gonna need flank steak. Now, where I got this, which is I think was at a Ralph's, it comes in a sealed package like this, but flank steak is what you want. I'll talk more about this a little bit later. You're also gonna need beef broth. I like to use the less sodium kind beef broth, an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, a small can of tomato paste, and onion, 3 bell peppers. For color, I like to use a green, a yellow, and a red because it's pretty colored. And then also 2 serrano chilies. Now, serrano chilies are hotter than jalapenos. You could use jalapenos, but I love these serranos, and I'm actually gonna take the seeds out of them so they won't be crazy hot. Okay, some fresh garlic here. Now, I'm showing you this, and if I could put it in, I would, but my husband does not, his stomach doesn't handle garlic very well. I wish I could put it in, but you can, I can't. You're also gonna need some cumin, some vegetable oil. I like to use grapeseed oil. This is gonna be for searing the flank steak. Then there's also olive oil. Now the olive oil is the one for flavor, okay? These 2 oils do different things. Then we have some white vinegar and salt and pepper. And as far as equipment goes, you're going to need a slow cooker. Now this is just the pot part of the slow cooker, okay? The whole machine, I'm not gonna actually slow cook this today. I'm gonna get it all set up, put it in the fridge, and I'm gonna start the slow cooker going in the morning because this guy takes a long time because I'm gonna have it at low. All right, when we come back, I'm gonna show you how to prep out some of the ingredients. Okay, so for this onion, and this is a big guy, but that's okay because we love onions here. I'm gonna slice it. I'm not gonna dice it, I'm gonna slice it. So I wanna show you how that looks. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut off the stem end here. Curl up your fingers, cut off the stem end. And then I'm also gonna cut off this root. Okay, so now the onion is upside down. Root end here, what was the stem end there? So I'm gonna cut this in half this way, okay? Now what you wanna do is you wanna get this papery part off, and let's see if this one's gonna be easier. tell you what. Let's come back when all this paper is gone. I'll be back. All right, finally got the skin off. That took a while. Sometimes the skin really slips off easily. Sometimes it takes some labor, and it did. Okay, so I got the half onion here now, half guy. And I'm actually gonna cut off the root here. Normally I don't do that, but when I slice it, I do. So I'm gonna cut off this root. So now the onion is kind of, it doesn't have its root anymore, so it's sort of vulnerable, but that's okay. So what I'm gonna do, slicing is easy. You just take the knife, okay? I'm holding the onion like this. That's it. I like to make them fairly big pieces of onion. You can do it like that now, because they're gonna dissolve. A lot of it's gonna dissolve. So this is what I got. See there? Just like that. And I'm gonna do it to the other onion half, and then I'm gonna work on the peppers. We'll come back. All right, so I'm gonna do the peppers now. What I'm gonna do with the peppers is thick slices, or a thick julienne. So here's how I'm gonna tackle the pepper. I'm going to cut off the top part and the bottom part. Okay, we got something that looks like that. Then I'm gonna cut it in half this way. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. I like to pull out these white parts too. And we don't want the seeds, because the seeds just get stuck in your teeth. They're indigestible. Okay, so we have this now. So this is kind of a big pepper, but that's okay. I'm just gonna go down and slice it, nice thick slices, not super skinny. Like that. You can do it on the board too. If a few seeds get in there, it's not the end of the world. So there's that pepper. I'm going to do the other peppers too, add them to my onions. Then I'll move on to the serrano chilies. All right, so we got the serrano chili. Remember, hotter than a jalapeno. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the stem, and I'm going to carefully slice it in half lengthwise. You see how that's going? Lengthwise, like that. So you can see inside it has just a skinny little ridge of seeds and stem in there. Not stem, but ribs. Now I'm taking out the stem and the ribs. Okay, and notice I'm looking away when I do it. I'm not real close. I'm not doing it like this, because if the juice in there jumps out at you and goes in your eye, you're gonna be in lots of pain. Okay, and two, if you wanted to keep the seeds in, you can totally keep the seeds in. They'll add more heat. So what I'm gonna do with this is I'm just gonna slice it up. I like to slice it on the diagonal, like that. And this will provide a lot of nice heat inside. And let me tell you something, when you're done slicing up a jalapeno, a serrano, any kind of chili, okay, do not rub your eyes, nose, or mouth unless you wash your hands like 2 or 3 times. Otherwise, you will be in massive pain. I have had that happen, and I don't want to have it happen again. So I'll do the other chili and we'll come back. Okay, so here is the flank steak right here. I took it out of the package. Flank steak comes from the cow's abdominal region, okay? And it's a tough area, okay? It gets a lot of work, so this can be a very tough piece of meat. That's why it's gonna cook for a really long time. Okay, so I'm gonna unfold it here. This is 2 pounds of flank steak. Now, if you look really close, you can see the grain, what's called the grain of the meat, how the muscle fibers go, okay? The muscle fibers all go this direction, okay? This direction, this direction, this direction. So what I'm gonna do with this flank steak first is I'm going to cut it in half like this. I'm gonna cut it in half like this. Not like this. I'm gonna cut it against the grain. Just like that. And then I'm gonna take each piece, and I'm just gonna use paper towels to towel off the excess moisture on the steak. Because the steak is going to get seared and I'll show you what that's all about. And if there's water or excess moisture, then it steams more than it sears. And one of the keys to making this is searing that steak, which I'll show you how to do in a little bit. But flank steak is one of those steaks, if you cook it right, man, is it good. It's really, really beefy. And flank steak is not that expensive either. So it's got a lot of really good things going for it. All right, when we come back, I'm going to show you how to sear the steak. All right, a great tool, piece of equipment to use to sear this steak, to sear anything, is this. This is a cast iron skillet, right here, a cast iron skillet. It's heavy, it's dark, it can take any kind of abuse you give it. This is a great thing. Now, any skillet that you might have, as long as it's a nice heavy-duty skillet, will work, but cast iron was born for this. And I have the heat up way high, you can see that. And I want to get this super hot. So I'm going to put in about a generous tablespoon of oil in there. This is my grapeseed oil, not my olive oil. Grapeseed oil has a very high, what's called smoke point, which means this oil gets really hot before it starts to smoke. Not all oils have the same smoke points. An olive oil has a lower smoke point, so it'll start to smoke at a much lower heat. We want this to get hot, okay? So we're gonna let this get super hot. In fact, we wanna see this, I'm just getting the oil around there. We wanna see this really hot, so where you start to see some smoke comes up. That's good. Okay. We're also going to do this. Actually, we'll come back. I'm going to let this heat up, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to the flank steaks before they go in there. I just want to show you the bowl of all the vegetables that I've cut up. If you were going to do the garlic, you would mince it up and put it in here too. But I'm not using the garlic. Okay. I got my oil heating up in the cast iron skillet. Here's my flank steak that I've dried off. Now, I'm actually going to use kosher salt for this. This is kosher salt. It's half as salty as regular salt, and the grains are bigger. So I'm going to salt one side of it fairly generously. And I'm also going to put a lot of pepper on this too. I'm going to do the other side as well. Okay. We will come back when it's time to start searing this meat in that cast iron skillet. All right, you see that smoke there coming up? We want that. That's good. Here it comes. It's going to make a big sizzle. There. Now, you will get some oil coming up, so kind of stand back. Now, leave it there. Just let it sear. We want a good dark brown on the outside of that. Then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do the other. All right, look at this. So this has been cooking probably about 4 minutes. So I've already checked. It's time to turn it over. Let me show you what that looks like. There you go. Woo! Look at all that steam. Beautiful. So I'm going to cook this side, the side that's now hitting the pan. I'm going to cook it till it looks like this. And then I'm going to do the other half of the flank steak. Now, if you sat down and tried to eat this, it would be very tough. It'd be very tough, and you'd be like, this isn't that good. But remember, this is going to be in the slow cooker, and it's going to slow cook for hours. And the slow cooker is just going to make everything, the meat's just going to fall apart. Okay, I will come back when I'm all done. But again, take a good look at that. Get in there real close. See that? That is nice and brown. That's what you want on both sides of your flank steak. And then it's going to go right into the slow cooker. All right, so I seared both halves of the flank steak. They are in there. What also is in here is the 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, the small can of tomato paste, the 1 tablespoon of vinegar, the 1 tablespoon of olive oil, the cumin, and I'm also going to get all these vegetables in here too. Here we go. So you can see this looks really full right now. I'm just going to stir it up a little bit. It looks pretty full right now, but the vegetables are going to really collapse and add to the whole flavor of of everything. The meat is going to get super soft. Let me give you a tip. Remember when I was searing that flank steak and how all that steam and smoke was happening? Okay, while I was doing the second one, guess what happened at my house? The smoke alarm went off. So a little bit of advice for you that I did not do is open a window. Whatever window is closest to your stovetop, open that window so the steam and smoke has somewhere to go. Otherwise, that can happen. All right, so now this is all ready to go. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to put the lid on it and I'm going to put it in my refrigerator. And then in the morning, I'm going to get it started so it can cook all day long at low. Now, if it was the morning when you're doing this and you want to eat it the same day, you can cook it on high for about 5 hours. But I'm going to do it on low for about 10 to 11 hours. So literally when I wake up, I'm going to get it going. So it'll be done for dinner. And at that point, it will be absolutely delicious, and we'll add salt and pepper if we think we need it. Okay, always check, add salt and pepper if you need it. I like to serve this on top of rice or in tortillas, or just by itself. But this is so good. This makes like about 6 servings, so you get a lot out of it too. It's fun to sear things on the stovetop. I just like it. And if you do too, or if you just like the looks of this thing, it is delicious. Your family will love it. Make it on a cold day for them.